Now it's time for another bedtime story by the fireside with Mary T. And tonight's story is called 6th of August 1968 and it's by Mae Leonard. It is 6th of August 1968 and I'm all dressed up and ready to go. The taxi is waiting. Well-wishers have gathered outside the front door, but my father is missing. I hear him rattling noises coming from upstairs and I call him, "Dad, Dad!" No answer. And I pause and smile, remembering him reading the opening lines of Tom Sawyer to us at bedtime. "Tom, no answer. What's gone with that boy, I wonder? You, Tom, no answer." That flash of nostalgia has tears welling in my eyes. And then I hear my father's voice as he comes down the stairs. "She found it," he mutters. "Dad, the taxi's outside, it's time to go." But he's not listening. He's pulling books from the bookcase and they're slapping onto the floor. "Dad, we'll be late." "Your mother must have found it." "Found what?" No answer. Now he is crawling under the sideboard. I don't need this right now. Things have been bad enough all morning, starting with the flowers. Roses, I wanted lily of the valley or freesia, but they're out of season. So it was Hobson's choice, take it or leave it, roses. A friend, the head gardener at the People's Park in Limerick, promised that he'd have my flowers ready. My brother drove me there early just as the staff were being given instructions for the day. But there was no sign of my friend. He's on holiday, I was informed, and I stood there in shock horror with tears about to run down my face. But he was supposed to have my flowers ready. One look at my face, and his second in command grabbed secateurs, told me to wait, and returned with a dozen of the most magnificent long-stemmed roses. But how do you make a posy with those? Back at home, my brother's wife stepped into the breach and managed to make them look elegant by tying 3 together with white satin ribbon. But I really wanted lily of the valley or freesia. The clock chimes 11. "Dad, we have to go." He scrambles out from under the sideboard and is covered in dust and cobwebs. "Ha! Your mother didn't find this one," he says triumphantly, holding up a flat bottle. He unscrews the cap. "Dad, you can't go to the church smelling of whiskey." "I need a drop of Dutch courage," he said, smacking his lips, and then he pauses and offers me the bottle. I shake my head and he takes another swig. And as he screws the cap back on, I catch a glimpse of myself in the sideboard mirror. I stoop to check my hair. Yes, at least that looks good. My hairdresser did me proud. There's a cluster of curls at the back of my head and a scattering of white flowers pinned around them. But my dress? "Dare to be different," my best friend said. "Knit your dress." We were big into knitting at the time. I really wanted the stunning shower of hail dress displayed in Gibson's Ladies' Fashion House uptown, but I allowed myself to be convinced to knit my dress. My mother was denied the frills and flounces and lace and the Limerick lace veil she expected me to choose. A work colleague found a suitable design in a woman's magazine that wasn't too difficult a pattern to knit. The yarn had to be ordered specially by the craft department in Cannock's. It was glitteringly white with a satin thread running through it. My mother shook her head and refused to have any hand act or part in it. My friends and workmates assisted in every way they could, working out the instructions of the pattern, measuring and blocking out all the bits, stitching the seam, and you know what? It turned out quite lovely. It's a 2-piece suit in a lacy pattern, a short skirt and top that comes halfway down over it. And now the sideboard mirror tells me it's, well, definitely different. I turn around to brush the dust and cobwebs off Dad's new suit. Do I look all right now? He asks as he pockets the whiskey bottle. I pause. It's the look in his eyes that make me catch my breath. He's going to say something like, I'll miss you, but words would be an intrusion. That look is enough. Tears are very close. I have to look away, but I manage to say, you're a right handsome fella. A very demanding beep from the taxi shatters the moment. I ease on my white crochet gloves, finger by finger, and I pick up my roses. Someone takes a photograph of himself and myself, arms linked, making our way up the aisle. There's the outline of a whiskey bottle in his right hand pocket, and the clock on the gallery behind it is showing 11:20. The rest of our wedding day ran so smoothly it's a blur to me, except for one little moment. When we arrived at the Shannon Arms Hotel for our reception, I was accosted by a flustered waitress. Have you seen the bride, love? We can't serve champagne until she arrives. So much for daring to be different and knitting my wedding dress. Good night. Stay safe.